Imagine we aren't going to Mars to build a second home for humanity. Instead, the Earth itself is slowly becoming a hostile landscape, and our massive, power-hungry AI data centers are actually thermodynamic foundries, paving the way for the post-biological machines that will eventually replace us. McGill frames this as a rigorous constraint argument, a synthesis of energy accounting, cybernetics, and astrobiology designed to map our actual trajectory. After reading this dense, heavily researched piece, a reader left exactly one comment: AI generated. Most authors would panic, issue a denial, or try to prove their human authenticity. Bryant McGill leaned in. He accepted the comment as an intellectual trapdoor. Deploying AI generated as an insult reveals that the critic has mistaken the instrument of composition for the substance of the argument itself. AI generated is a production note. It describes the instrument used to inscribe words onto a page, no different than noting that a manuscript was typed on a mechanical typewriter. Descriptions of tooling tell you nothing about whether the argument's concepts are coherent or its sources are represented honestly. Identifying a logical failure is criticism. Describing the choice of software is just a detail for a colophon. If we look at the mechanical cost of this specific essay, producing the final sentences took the author about 4 hours of active work and roughly $50 of machine inference. Those 4 hours were compilation time, not development time. The true cost is amortized across 35 years of reading, memory, and cognitive R&D required to know exactly what the machine needed to compile. Discarding the work because of the machine run is like pricing a microprocessor based only on the electricity consumed during its final test, ignoring the entire fabrication plant that built it. This animated network illustrates the essay's dependency graph. To build an argument this complex without category errors, you need specific, non-interchangeable thinkers bridging the logical gaps. For example, the author deploys Vaclav's smell to solve the thermodynamic constraints of Mars colonization. He slots in the astronomer royal, Martin Rees, to provide the establishment astrophysical case against mass emigration. These concepts are invoked through a dense 7-word grunt: smell, Mars, Rees, waste heat, connected. Because prose is now computationally abundant, the human's role has shifted. The labor is no longer in manufacturing sentences, but in acting as the expert error detector who enforces the constraints of the concepts. Generative AI belongs to civilization's continuous, unbroken history of cognitive offloading. We moved our memory to clay, our mathematics to calculators, and our engineering geometry to CAD software. Every historical offloading was denounced as the death of the faculty it extended, yet every one served as a force magnifier. AI follows this lineage by crossing a new threshold. For the first time, the tool participates directly in the synthesis and interpretation of the data it carries. Consider the ultimate blind test. If a reader learns a new constraint or adopts a new premise reading an essay without knowing its origin, the intellectual transfer was a success. Meaning is a property of what happens in the receiving mind. That value remains intact regardless of whether the letters were manually keyed by a human. Authorship has become a stack. The true author is the architect who curates the dependencies, maintains the conceptual world, and remains accountable for the truth of the claims.